Don't defeat me.
It's the second last episode of Ahsoka, and there's a long way to get home. Literally. With Thrawn and Ezra back, we're getting closer than ever to a live-action Rebels team-up. They even mention Zeb in this episode as well. But Ahsoka's coming to save Sabine, and Thrawn knows she's on her way, but we still don't know what the end game plan here is, and what's in those coffins as well. Sorry, I meant boxes. But before I get to it, just to say thanks for taking the time to choose to watch this channel. As always, I'm Al, this is the Geek in Review, and if you haven't done it already, please subscribe to the channel, and if you make it all the way to the end of the video, leave a like as well. But let's get to it. So the episode opens in Coruscant with Hera having to answer for her actions with the senators from a few episodes ago, plus, debatably, and there has been a bit of debate about this online, Admiral Akbar as well. She's filling the Senate in on what's been going on, and we get a reference to Mandalorian Season 3 as well.
What about the conflict on Mandalore?
Tying it into where that show is in this timeline, so the events of Mandalorian Season 3 have already happened, and this is probably going to be a big setup for where it's going, because this is the Filoni-verse after all. And they don't really believe her, at least Senator Zeno doesn't.
I don't know what frightens me more. The possibility of what might happen or your unwillingness to see it.
He wants her court-martialed when C-3PO himself, voiced by Anthony Daniels, shows up, sent on behalf of Leia, with some information taking the rap for the whole CTOS rescue mission.
The transcript shows that Senator Organa personally sanctioned General Syndulla's reconnaissance mission to CTOS.
And I didn't really expect C-3PO as a cameo. I'd heard about a lot of leaks in this show, but that wasn't one of them. And I'm sure it's going to please hardcore fans, but it probably wasn't Anthony Daniels in the suit, let's be honest. But anyway, Mon Mothma sees through it and is actually worried about Thrawn's potential return. So they're kind of slowly setting this up with what's going on in the Senate, or what I should say, what's not going on in the New Republic. But Ahsoka herself is still in the Purrgil, heading to the New Galaxy, doing some training with a hollow Anakin from the Clone Wars, and some big name drops here as well.
General Grievous, Asajj Ventress, even Count Dooku.
I knew Hayden Christensen was coming back, but like most people, I assumed it would be in the World Between Worlds again, or like a Force ghost, so this was kinda unexpected. But according to her, he left a bunch of these recordings for her, and this is just the last one. Hugh Yang is worried about how they're actually going to find Sabine in a galaxy far, far away where no one's ever been, and points out that they've got no idea where to start, and they might end up anywhere, and they could be completely stranded in the middle of nowhere.
I think the odds are pretty good.
No, in fact, they're terrible. Astronomically terrible.
Well, you should have said.
But they drop out of hyperspace to exactly the point that Morgan in the Ring of Sion did, and of course Thrawn's waiting for them and attacks them with a minefield. And like most episodes of this show, there was a standout scene, and the bit where she exits the whale looked absolutely fantastic, and I never thought I'd say where she exits the whale looks fantastic, so leave a like. And Thrawn has got the information that he requested about Ahsoka, and is surprised to learn that Anakin Skywalker was her master.
Her master was General Anakin Skywalker.
Yes.
Because Thrawn knew that Anakin was Vader and Vader was Anakin, he just didn't know the connection to Ahsoka up until now. And he asked the Night Sisters to help him locate her. So he sort of wants to lure her out, but that's not really his plan here. And Hugh Yang and Ahsoka realise that Thrawn's been expecting them all along, and because of this, that means that Morgan must have found them to fill him in. But back on the planet itself, Sabine, Ezra and the Newtie are still all going on some sort of quest somewhere, I guess. Sabine's catching Ezra up on what's happened in the last 10 years, so he doesn't know about the Rebels winning, the New Republic, the Ewoks, or the death of the Empire.
The Empire was defeated.
Battle of Endor.
The Emperor died.
That's what people say.
But she's still not telling them what she had to do in order to find them, and they still don't know how they're going to get home either. Balon's recruited the bad guys from last week and they show up on their trail. And Baylon orders Shen to attack Ezra and Sabine, but doesn't want to do it himself. He wants to go off on his own grand quest, but leaves her to get the answers to his questions. And he says that she should take her place in this new empire. But the episode before, he said he was sort of sick of that kind of thing. So yeah, I really wonder where they're going with this. Ahsoka reaches out to Sabine using the Force, which obviously shocks her as Sabine thinks she's dead, but this gets interrupted by one of the Night Sisters who uses the connection in order to locate Ahsoka and attack her. So while Ezra and Sabine are being surrounded by Night Troopers, yep, they're called Night Troopers, not Stormtroopers, Ezra and Sabine face off against Shen as Ahsoka faces off against Baylon, who's understandably surprised to see her as
expect to see you again.
Ahsoka escapes Baylon as Ezra and Sabine are cornered, and Ahsoka sweeps in to save them at the last minute when the Stormtroopers are surrounding them. And Thrawn is watching all this sort of like he's playing Command and Conquer back in his base. He noticed that Baylon isn't part of the attack, but he doesn't really say anything about it. But he does withdraw his troops as the cargo transfer from last week is almost complete. So what's in those boxes? Well, a lot of people have thought it could be the Stormtroopers' bodies and that these Night Troopers are sort of reanimated like Marek. But we didn't really see that. When Sabine and Ezra were killing them, we weren't getting the green smoke escaping. So it might mean that there's something else. There's been a few theories online about this. Another popular one is it's the bodies of the Night Sisters themselves. But I still think that this is linked to Thrawn and the Empire somehow, because otherwise, why would he care about taking it with them? But anyway, Ahsoka, Sabine and Ezra are back together and Thrawn's plan is nearly complete. And Ahsoka offers to help Shin, but she just kind of goes off and withdraws with the Stormtroopers, but we don't really see what happens next. And we still don't know exactly what Thrawn's plan is or what Balon's after. And for me, this was definitely a Balon episode. Depending on the last episode, it might be a Balon series as well, as the guy's really getting a lot of focus in the later half of the show, but they still aren't giving us any answers. I've seen a lot of leaks from this show and how it does end, but none have mentioned Baylon or Shin, so I guess we're going to be getting some sort of big reveal or setup next week. With one episode to go, the gang still need to beat Thrawn and find a way home, and I can't see how they're going to do that in about an hour and a half or less of TV. Or at least, I should say, I can't see how they're going to close all the things up that they need to tie this off. This has to be a cliffhanger ending and is probably going to be a very Empire Strikes Back, the good guys fail kind of thing. I think this show is setting up bigger things down the road alongside other Star Wars shows, and this is just an introduction to Ahsoka, Sabine and Thrawn. But as always, we're going to have to wait and see. I did really enjoy Ezra this week, and I felt like he did feel like he was during Rebels. I wasn't particularly that impressed with him last week because I'd always preferred Kanan Jarrus over Ezra, but the actor playing him has definitely nailed it and done his research. And when they did all meet up, Ahsoka kind of was like, yeah, okay, you thought I was dead and you abandoned the cause. We need to have that conversation. So I wonder if they're going to bring that up as well. But I hope a lot of my criticisms in this show do change, and they're probably going to get another season. I'd like to see live-action Ezra and the live-action Rebels gang pop up in Star Wars, but we're going to have to wait till at least Season 2 for this, I think. But yeah, for me in this episode, Ezra definitely outshines Sabine, who has been on the show since Episode 1, so I don't know if that's just my taste, but yeah, not really enjoying Sabine this season. But I don't think this was the grand setup for a finale that a lot of fans have been waiting for. There's been a huge amount of hype and theories on this show about what this power is that Balon's looking for and what it might be. There's theories from Darth Maul's coming back to the fact that it's going to be ancient Force aliens somewhere in the Star Wars galaxy, and I highly doubt any of this because although it's introduced the world between worlds and a few of the characters from Rebels, this show hasn't gone as hard as any of these theories have predicted. And it's not to say that they're wrong, we've still got one episode to go, but I don't think that Star Wars is going to get too much into the ancient alien race thing at this stage of the game. At least what I mean is, I don't think they're going to do it in the final episode of Ahsoka. Because if Thrawn does get back to their home galaxy, that raises a whole bunch of problems that they're going to have to deal with there. So I think what's going to happen in the finale is Thrawn's going to make it back, but the good guys are going to be stuck, and then season 2 is going to pick up there. But as always, these are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm going to be doing more theory videos on Ahsoka, and I've still got some foundation ones coming as well. So if you haven't done it already, subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. And as always, my name's Al. Thanks for watching.